James with the lead pass, but Ilgauskas went down, and Cavs get a break. It was deflected out. And Ilgauskas shake it up.
McDyess could have just let that ball go, and Detroit would have had it out of bounds. I think he was trying to maybe get an outlet pass, maybe a transition hoop, and in his haste, he loses it.
These are all those little plays you work at with a short clock at the end of practice, special situations. Be big to be able to steal a basket here on this play.
Only 4 on the shot clock. Ilgauskas over Wallace. And it's an air ball, so 24-second violation.
He had Drew Gooden wide open, but that's not a situation that Ilgauskas is real comfortable with.
Cavaliers 87, Pistons 81. And we're down to 2 minutes to play in the fourth. Here is Hamilton. Yes. Hamilton able to drill it to bring the Pistons within 4.
That's a tough cover for Gibson because Richard Hamilton knows that if he gets to a certain area, Gibson cannot bother his shot.
The Cavaliers, the pass is batted away by Billups, but recovered by Gibson. Gibson on the move, stripped by Wallace. Rasheed Wallace got a hand on it. Brown wanted to travel. Not Billups, who comes up hobbling. Apparently there's a wet spot on the floor.
Yeah, Mark, remember the last possession on that loose ball. Somebody went down on the floor.
And that's what Chauncey was complaining about, and the officials will take care of it.
Now, this is a big play because Detroit has a possibility for a transition hoop here. This is the play before, I think, where Billups tries to make the steal, but by taking that timeout, now they're down to just 1 remaining.
So who says weekends get all the fun? Give me a good time any day. Give me a 7th inning stretch in the middle of the week. Give me a cedar seared salmon that only tastes expensive. Give me a salad with so much flavor I forget I'm eating a salad. Give me a long lunch and...
No new messages.
Give me chicken that'll fill me up with a Jack Daniel's sauce that'll wake me up. Give me a new way to eat out. Smaller portions and prices so every day doesn't feel so every day. Life is short. Give me more Fridays.
Back in Cleveland, Detroit trailing by 4. They'll have the ball. And we talked early tonight about some of the keys. Billups and Hamilton leading the way. Remember, in Game 3, they combined for just 20 points. Both vowed to be much more aggressive tonight, and they have. The only problem, they have not shot the ball particularly well, 14 of 35. But I do like their aggressiveness. They came out ready to play. And they're continuing to attack here late in the fourth quarter.
And still, Billups has more turnovers than assists. We've seen that in most every game in this series. So the long arms and the ranginess of that Cleveland defense has bothered him.
And it's so rare for Billups to be in this situation. He was second in the NBA this year in assist-to-turnover ratio. He's a guy who normally controls the tempo, controls the game. He hasn't been able to do that in this series.
As you saw, both teams over the foul limit. As you mentioned, Steve, Detroit with just 1 timeout remaining. Cleveland has a full and 2:20.
Now, Eric Snow is coming into the game for defense. Question is, if they get a stop, does Mike Brown use a timeout then to get his offense on the floor? So, they do not want to have to play a possession with Eric Snow out there playing against the zone.
Exactly, because he hasn't played tonight.
Minute 25 remaining in this fourth quarter. That's Snow on Prince. Oh, it's picked off by Gooden. And Billups commits the foul. Billups' pass intercepted by Gooden.
But why take the foul? There's still a minute 15 to go in this game. Get back and play defense. Chauncey Billups upset, and he runs over and fouls. It's still a 2-possession game, and Cleveland is shooting free throws.
He's too good of a player for that. I mean, we've talked this whole series about how he's looked a little out of whack. I mean, that's a perfect example. He's got to be more poised to make that play.
Gooden is 2 of 2 at the line. You can see Piston players shaking their heads, and Billups upset with himself. Now Gooden upset with himself after missing the first. He's a 71% free throw shooter. It's 1 of 2. Cavaliers 88, the Pistons 83 with